Abby and Brittany Hensel were born into a situation that doctors described as extraordinarily rare. They had 2 separate heads, 2 brains, 2 spinal cords, and 2 hearts. But from the waist down, much of their body was shared. Each sister controlled one side. Abby controlled the right. Brittany controlled the left. From their first day of life, every movement would require cooperation. Every step would depend on timing. Every ordinary task would become a test of trust between 2 people living in one body. Their full names are Abigail Lorraine Hensel and Brittany Lee Hensel. They were born on March 7, 1990, in Minnesota, and grew up near New Germany. Their mother, Patty, worked as a nurse. Their father, Mike, worked as a carpenter and landscaper. They also had a younger brother and a younger sister. From the beginning, the family faced a question no parent could answer easily. Should the twins be separated, even if the operation might cost one or both of them their lives? Doctors explained that the chances of both girls surviving a separation were extremely small. Even if the operation succeeded, one or both might face lifelong medical complications. Their parents chose not to separate them. That decision brought pressure from medical experts, questions from relatives, and doubt from people who believed a more conventional life might be possible only through surgery. Patty and Mike saw something different. They did not see one medical case. They saw 2 daughters whose lives had been connected from birth. Abby and Brittany are dicephalic parapagus twins. They share one torso but have 2 separate heads. They have 2 arms and 2 legs. At birth, they also had a small underdeveloped arm between their necks. Doctors later removed it, leaving a central shoulder blade. Their ribcage is broader than average. Their 2 spines meet near the lower part of the body. Their digestive and circulatory systems are partly shared, creating a physical structure that requires constant balance. Their bodies also developed differently. Abby grew to about 5 feet 2 inches. Brittany grew to about 4 feet 10 inches. Brittany's right leg is nearly 2 inches shorter than Abby's side, so she often walks on her toes. Over time, this made one calf more developed. Abby's head tilts slightly to the right, while Brittany's tilts slightly to the left. When Brittany stopped growing, doctors limited further growth in Abby's spine so that their shared body could remain aligned. They also underwent surgery for scoliosis to improve mobility and protect their health. The most remarkable part of their daily life is not simply that they are conjoined. It is the level of coordination they achieved. Abby feels and controls the right side. Brittany feels and controls the left. Neither sister can move the entire body alone. To walk, both must decide when to step. To run, both must match speed and rhythm. To swim, ride a bicycle, dance, play, volleyball, or type on a keyboard, they must communicate through movement almost instantly. For them, this cooperation became natural. What looked impossible to outsiders became routine through years of practice. They could walk through school hallways, climb stairs, play with friends, and take part in activities that many people assumed they could never attempt. They learned to play the piano. They learned to swim. They learned to ride a bicycle. They even learned to drive a car, a challenge that demanded an even higher level of trust. Despite sharing one body, Abby and Brittany have always been 2 different people. Abby enjoys mathematics and science. Brittany prefers reading and writing. Abby likes salty snacks. Brittany prefers sweet food. Their personalities, opinions, and preferences are not identical. Even their clothes are designed to show individuality. Some outfits match from one side to the other. On other days, colors and designs are chosen to reflect the separate style of each sister. Their teenage years brought one of their biggest tests. At 16, they wanted to drive. The problem was obvious. One sister controlled the right side of the body. The other controlled the left. Driving meant that they had to coordinate hands, feet, vision, judgment, and reaction time while operating a single vehicle. Abby handled the gas pedal and brake. Brittany managed the turn signals. Both worked together to steer. Education became another important goal. Abby and Brittany attended Mayer Lutheran High School and later enrolled at Bethel University in Minnesota. They chose education as their field of study. University life required them to be recognized as two separate students. They took tests separately, completed individual assignments, and maintained their own academic records. Although they shared a body, each had her own mind, her own grades, and her own degree. In 2012, Abby and Brittany graduated from Bethel University with degrees in education. The moment confirmed what they had argued throughout their lives. They were not one person with two faces. They were two people with separate identities, separate thoughts, and a shared physical existence. After graduation, they entered the teaching profession in Minnesota. They became elementary school teachers and were described as teaching fifth-grade students. Mathematics became an important part of their classroom work. Their unusual partnership gave them a teaching advantage. One sister could explain a concept in one way, while the other could offer a different explanation. One could write on the board, while the other watched students, answered questions, or noticed who needed help. At first, they were paid one teacher's salary. The arrangement created debate because they occupied one teaching position but brought two minds, 2 degrees, and 2 sets of professional skills into the classroom. Their situation did not fit traditional employment rules. They hoped that experience would lead to greater recognition of the separate contribution each sister made. Long before they became teachers, the public had already become fascinated by their story. In April 1996, when they were 6 years old, Abby and Brittany appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. The file states that they appeared twice during that month. They were also featured on the cover of Life magazine with the phrase, "One body, two souls," inside. Readers were shown parts of the family's daily routine and the twins' summer life. The attention continued. In September 1998, Life published another update. By 2002, their story appeared in a documentary called Conjoined for Life, produced by Advanced Medical Productions and shown on the Discovery Health Channel. Viewers saw how the sisters controlled opposite sides of their body and how much coordination was required for ordinary actions. In 2003, another documentary called Joined at Birth followed their journey from birth through childhood. The same period also brought magazine coverage and an ABC documentary. Their story reached audiences outside the United States in 2005, when the British television series Extraordinary People devoted an episode to them. In 2006, a documentary titled Joined for Life, Abby and Brittany Turned 16 focused on their teenage years. It showed school friendship and the process of learning to drive. The twins were no longer only children in a medical story. They were teenagers, making decisions, planning a future, and demanding the same independence their classmates wanted. The greatest television spotlight came in 2012 with the reality series Abby and Brittany. The program followed them as they completed college and prepared to enter professional life. Audiences watched them apply for work plan lessons, spend time with friends, and stand in front of a classroom. In 2013, the BBC aired the series in the United Kingdom, expanding their international audience. A major private development occurred in November 2021 when Abby married Josh Bowling. Josh is described as a United States Army veteran and a registered nurse. He came from Tennessee and later worked in hospice care. He also had a daughter named Isabella from a previous marriage. The family lived in Minnesota, where Abby and Brittany continued teaching. The marriage was kept private for more than 2 years. The news became widely known only in early 2024. Wedding photographs and family images then spread across social media. The pictures showed Abby, Brittany, Josh, and Isabella attending events, taking family photographs, and sharing ordinary moments. The images renewed global interest in the twins, but they also created another wave of intrusive questions. Social media became one of the ways they communicated directly. On TikTok, they posted updates, photographs, and montages. In December 2024, they shared a video titled Replay. It included highlights from the year family activities and images connected to Abby's wedding. The montage showed that their lives were continuing beyond the headlines that had defined them for so long. At the same time, social media created a new controversy. One video included a collection of headlines and remarks about the twins. The file mentions comments from Tucker Carlson and other media figures who questioned their existence, their marriage, and what might happen if one sister died. Abby and Brittany used the song Unstoppable by Sia to answer the criticism without offering a long explanation. One phrase in that montage changed the discussion. Among the dramatic headlines appeared the words, "Married and baby on the way." Many viewers interpreted the phrase as a pregnancy announcement. Comments quickly filled with congratulations. Fans began speculating that Abby and Josh were expecting a child. The rumor spread even though the twins had not made a direct statement. The context of the video was important. The phrase appeared beside other sensational headlines, including claims that their lives were sad or tragic. It may have been included as an example of the stories written about them, not as an official announcement. As of the material in the file, there was no confirmed pregnancy. Abby and Brittany had not publicly verified that a baby was on the way. The rumor nevertheless raised complicated questions because the twins share one reproductive system. Commentators began debating the medical, emotional, and social meaning of a possible pregnancy. Some supported their right to build a family. Others questioned whether pregnancy would be possible or safe. The file does not provide medical confirmation, and the twins did not address the speculation directly. That silence should not be treated as proof. Abby and Brittany have always chosen when and how to share major events. Abby's marriage happened in November 2021, but the public did not learn about it until early 2024. Their private life belongs to them. If they decide to announce a pregnancy or any other family development, they can do so on their own terms. Their journey also reveals the limits of the way society defines independence. Abby and Brittany cannot physically walk away from each other, but each has her own thoughts, interests, academic record, and legal identity. Their success came not from becoming less different, but from understanding exactly how different they were, and then building a system of cooperation around those differences. Every major milestone required negotiation, a step required rhythm, a classroom required shared focus. Driving required complete trust. Public life required boundaries. Marriage required privacy. Their story was never about pretending that conjoined life was simple. It was about refusing to accept that difficulty made a full life impossible. From March 7, 1990 to their university. Graduation in 2012. Abby's marriage in November 2021. The public revelation in early 2024. And the 2024 replay posted that December. Each milestone showed the same pattern. The world predicted limits. Abby and Brittany kept moving beyond them. They were born with 2 heads, 2 hearts, and 1 shared body. Doctors warned that separation might kill them. Strangers questioned whether they could walk, drive, study work, or build a family. They answered through action. They walked. They drove. They graduated, they became teachers, they protected their private lives. And when the internet once again turned them into a spectacle, they reminded the world that their story belonged to them. The pregnancy discussion remains unconfirmed. The marriage is real. The teaching career is real. The years of medical challenges, coordination, education, and public pressure are real. Those facts are already extraordinary enough. Abby and Brittany Hensel continue to live as two individuals whose lives are joined, not erased by the body they share. Their story is not a tragedy. It is a story of adaptation, discipline, family support, and extraordinary teamwork. It is also a reminder that people do not need to fit a conventional image of life to deserve, respect privacy, love, and opportunity. Abby and Brittany have spent more than 3 decades proving exactly that.